Alright, hey, Hayes Big here. I know you can't see me, but I've got I'm working on my KLX140 right now, and I got the front axle off. This is the KLX140 front axle, okay? And this is a Sur Ron axle right here, okay? And guess what? They're both the same size. They're 12 millimeters. Okay, so this is the nut for the Sur Ron axle. And this is the nut for the KLX axle. And guess what? It fits on the Sur Ron axle. Look at that. So there we go. We got another source for axles, okay? Axle nuts. So the Honda Grom one fits, and so does the KLX140, okay? So I'm going to go order one and see if that works. The good thing about the KLX140 is it's the same exact size as the Sur Ron one, okay? The Sur Ron is a 17 millimeter, and so is the KLX, okay? The KLX is a 17 millimeter also, okay? So I'm gonna put this guy back on my KLX axle. Okay, I probably should replace this nut on my KLX also. It doesn't look like it's in such good shape anymore, okay? But yeah, so I will order a KLX140 front axle nut. I'll probably order a couple. One for the see how much easier this is to get on compared to the Kawasaki one. Yeah, this one is like worn out, okay? But they're both 17 millimeters. So the ground one was 19 millimeters. This one is 17 millimeters. So this should theoretically should be easier to work with, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna go order a couple, and then I'll let you know how that goes. I'll figure out what the part numbers are and all that stuff, and then that'll be the next clip. All right, here's the big out. There it is. KLX140. Okay, Hayes Big here. It's been like a couple days since the last clip. Okay, that I shot. The last clip was about I took the front axle nut off of my KLX140. Okay, and I noticed it fits the Sur Ron rear axle perfectly. Okay, it's perfect. Okay, so here it is. I got it. So I ordered it from GP Sports. Sad to say, it's a lot more expensive than the Honda Grom nut. Okay, so hey, if Hayes Omega found out that you could use the Honda Grom axle nut for the Sur Ron Light Bee, however, it's a 19 millimeter instead of a 12. Okay, you use a 19 millimeter to remove and install it, and the stock Sur Ron nut is a 17 millimeter. Okay, it's the same size. It's the size is 12 millimeters, M12 by 125. Okay, that's what it is, and it's a flanged mechanical locking nut is what it is. Okay, so if you can find one of those in the hardware store, good luck, because I couldn't find one. Okay, these are really hard to find. Alright, so this is how much I got it for from GP Sports. Let me go zoom in a little more here. Okay, so I got it for $23.60 for both of these, okay, for two. So you divide that in half, it's $11.80. I got it from my local motorcycle dealer, okay, GP Sports in San Jose. Alright, and so the part number is right here. I'll put a subtitle below so you guys can see it better, but I'm just going to read it off. Part number is 920151433, okay? The SKU description is a nut, 12 millimeters, okay? And it's quantity 2 because I ordered 2 of them, okay? It was $23.60 for both, and it's $11.80 if you divide that by 2. So these are $11.80 a nut. Pretty expensive. If I remember correctly, I put a subtitle below. The Honda one was around $3, so the Honda one is like 3 times as cheap. So if you're really a penny pincher, you can buy the Honda one, okay? For whatever reason, the Kawasaki one costs more, okay? But the Kawasaki one is the exact same spec as the Sur Ron one. So the 19 works, but the socket doesn't grab it all the way, okay, is what I want to say. And so I wanted to show you guys that. I ordered 2 of them because I want to replace the one on my KLX. It's probably worn out too. So every once in a while you should replace these, because you guys, we don't have cotter pins on our bike and stuff, so you know there's nothing to prevent it from backing out other than like if you put Loctite on it or something, you know, which I do recommend, okay? But okay, I'll put a link to an Amazon, okay, an Amazon, you can get it on Amazon, and it says currently here $13.98. I'm not really sure where from Amazon. It's from Motorcycle Parts Network, okay? Let me see if there's any other ones. Here's an $8.99 with $5 shipping. So that's exactly why I ordered it from my local dealer. So I won't have to pay for shipping, because they ship everything together. They don't charge you shipping. Okay, but it winds up being almost the same. It was like $11.80 versus $14 shipped. Okay, so I saved a couple bucks by going through my dealer. Okay, all right. So yeah, 14. So this would be like what? It would be $28 instead of $23. So I saved like $5. Not bad. All right. But yeah, if you want to order it off of Amazon, there you go. I'll put a link to the item in question. All right, and you can kind of look at the specs there. But this looks like the right one, and I will prove it right now. We will go install it on the bike. All right, here's what I got. Okay, here we go. So I currently have the Honda Grom nut on there right now. But we're gonna go remove it right now. We got a 19mm. We're gonna remove it. Oh, yeah, since I got them both out right now, we can take a closer look at both of them. Okay, there they are. This is all 3 nuts together. All right, so this is your Honda Grom nut on the very left here. This is the KLX140 nut on the middle. And then this is the Sur Ron nut on the right, okay? So you can see the Sur Ron one, there's the little mechanical grabber claws that keep it from backing out, or they're disappeared, sort of. They're kind of gone now. All right, so the problem with the Honda Grom one is 1/3 of the price, okay? But it's a 19mm. This is a 19 right here, okay? And then this is a 17 right here, okay? The stock nut is a 17. That's the KLX, and that's the stock nut, okay? So it's the exact same spec. Man, this might not. This might. Oh, you know what? We actually tried it. Okay, we tried it. I know it fits. I know it fits. Okay, yeah, I 100% know it works because we tested it out with the one that was actually on the KLX. Okay, so as you can see, it's much larger. And the problem with that is that the socket doesn't grab it all the way. It kind of grabs it like halfway. All right. That's a 12. That's a 17 right there. Okay. So the KLX one is the exact same spec as the Sur Ron one. All right, so let's go install it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and install this this new nut. I still have the Honda Grom one though, so I can still use that if I need to. There it is, right there. Just gonna work it on my hand first. Okay, so as you can see, it works pretty damn good because it's not. I have to use the Allen wrench to actually hold the other side now. So these wear out after a while, guys. So you know, if it seems like your axle's backing out, make sure you replace it. And so I'm showing you guys a place to replace it because I've had problems where it it backs out. So, and you don't want that happening. Bad. Okay, last step to do is torque it to 42 foot-pounds. There we go. I may need to hold it with the Allen wrench on the other side. Okay. Let's go 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. Okay, one more time for good luck. Come on. Okay, let's go. All right, there we go. So the good thing about this nut, all right. Let me go. Okay, so the good thing about this nut is that the socket fits in there all the way. Okay, so you got a better grab on it. All right. So there you go. I wish Sur Ron would sell just a nut, but they don't. Or I know they sell just the axle. I don't think they sell just a nut. So the nut is something that wears out over time. So you're gonna want to pay attention to that. Okay, if yours is kind of old and you've taken your wheel off a bunch of times, my suggestion is to use Loctite or put some RTV sealant on it so it doesn't back out. Okay. That's what I do when I race. I put RTV on it so it don't come out. So in my opinion, this nut is superior to the very soft Sur Ron one, okay? But it is $11, all right? It's pretty expensive as opposed to the Honda one, which is only about $3 or $4, all right? So it's 3 times as much as this. Where you can have 3 of these for the price of 1 of those. So take your pick. Do you want one with that uses a bigger socket to remove it, or a smaller socket? I would prefer the proper one, okay, because it bites it better. All right, so. Okay, there you go. So that's another Sur Ron hack from Hades Omega. You could use a KLX140 front axle nut on your rear axle nut for your Sur Ron Light Bee. It's a better match than the one for the Honda Grom, okay? But it's 3 times more expensive, okay? I couldn't find any place that's cheaper. I order it from my local dealer. You can get it on Amazon for $14. It's a little bit more, but they'll ship it to you. Maybe if you buy more than one, you might get a discount because, you know, they ship them all together. Well, my suggestion is to buy like at least 2, you know. So just in case, you know, if it gets worn out in the future, you got a spare one hanging around. Always, always, always have spare parts for your Sur Ron because they like to wear out fast. All right, so there you go. There's your Hades Omega Sur Ron hack video. KLX140 front axle nut on the rear Sur Ron Light Bee axle. All right, here we go. Hope you learned something. Okay, here's a bonus clip. This is the difference between a worn out nut and a not worn out nut. All right, see how there's a lot of thread sticking out? I was able to do it by hand. Yeah, no go. That's a no go. You don't want that. All right, here's the Honda Grom nut that I just took out. Oh. Oh. I can still do it by hand, but barely. Yeah, that's about as far as I can get it by hand. So you can see it barely made it to the other end. Those little claws are grabbing it and keeping it from moving. All right, so that's what happens when they wear out. They back out. All right, and you don't want that to happen. So that's why you should replace it. It's an inspectable item. Inspect it. All right, here we go.